over $1 billion worth of fraud. And some of these politicians are acting like it's no big deal. And we're going to talk about it next on It's Culture. Let's get it.
We gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas. When the whole team win, that's when you flex. Win, and I'ma do it again. Watch me win, then watch me do it again. Tell 'em I can't take no loss. My team hold no L's, no.
Welcome back to It's Culture Podcast. My name is Mark Stevenson. And tonight, we're talking about fraud. Like the kind of fraud that make you want to scratch your head and be like, how is this even possible? How did this happen for so long and nobody said nothing? And now how is this getting swept up under the rug like it's nothing? We talking about what happened up in Minnesota, y'all. And if this is your first time listening to my show, like I said, my name is Mark Stevenson. This is It's Culture, where I talk about everything from sports, politics, entertainment, trending topics. Why? Because I think it's all part of the culture. And all I ask for you to do is hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can get the updates. That is it. That's all that's required. And I thank you for tuning in. Part of my channel, I like to go around the country and look at politics that is affecting local governments, citizens of this country, and highlight how voting for the wrong people will put you in more financial and economic instability than anything else you would do in your lifetime, simply by who you put in office. And for the vast majority of Americans, that part is not taken seriously. It is not. It never is. That's why we have low voter turnout. This political system that we live in is shaped in a way that fraud, like we're going to discuss tonight, can happen. How it runs rampant all over this country. How the vast majority of us don't know what the hell our government is doing. We don't know nothing about the people that have been elected to office. We don't know about the relationships and backroom deals that they have been made. We simply go out, perform a civic duty without researching the people that we're putting in office. So on this show, I like to highlight why this is consequential, why you should take this serious, why you should vet the candidates before you go out here and put your name on somebody. We have to be more engaged in our civic responsibilities than simply just going there, just checking the box and walking right back out, putting a sticker on our chest. This shit is costing us billions of dollars. And in Minnesota, where this crime had been taking place, this had been going on for years. And some people knew about it. They were complicit. They knew that this was going on. And they refused to do anything because of this hyper, I don't even know what I want to say right here. This sensationalization of race in America. This over sensationalism of it. it's gotten to the point where it's just out of control. Everything is about race for some damn reason. So this fraud was able to be happening for fear of being called out and said that you're being racist or xenophobic or whatever. So this fraud was able to persist. So I'm gonna let y'all listen to the news. Excuse me. I'm gonna let y'all listen to the news and listen to what they say happened up there in Minnesota. Fair, I think something that has happened.
I'm national correspondent Kayla Gaskins in Washington. Luxury cars, private villas, and overseas wire transfers. Newly obtained documents are laying bare just how far a group of Minnesota fraudsters went to blow through hundreds of millions of dollars in taxpayer money. Money that was supposed to feed hungry children during the pandemic.
Okay, foreign cars, houses, money going overseas. Our taxpayer dollars being funneled overseas. Just want to let y'all start. We're going to start right there.
It was one of the largest COVID-era fraud schemes in the country.
We're not even at the end of the beginning of our pursuit of the stolen money and of the people who stole it.
In Minnesota, investigators say the defendants, many of Somali descent, turned a federal child nutrition program into their personal bank account and then went on a global spending spree. The court exhibits obtained by CBS News show first-class trips around the world, including a villa with a private pool in the Maldives, lakefront homes in Minnesota, luxury cars, stacks of cash, and wire transfers moving the stolen taxpayer money to China and East Africa.
So how much money are we talking about stolen from the American taxpayer?
I can say with great comfort, well in excess of $1 billion.
Our taxpayer dollars are being funneled to China and East Africa by Somali immigrants who have been, naturalized, some who were born here, who became citizens. That's why, there's a big push about birthright citizenship, because look at what's going on.
Another alleged fraud scheme is raising red flags, this time in Maine, and it bears striking similarities to the case in Minnesota. In this instance, a Somali American, Dr. Abdullah Ali, the executive director of Gateway Community Services, is accused of defrauding the state's Medicaid program.
You shouldn't be able to rob taxpayers of millions of dollars and just get away with it.
Critics accusing Minnesota leadership of deliberately turning a blind eye to warning signs schemes were underway.
They're concerned about, maybe being called racist or bigoted. The corruption went on and on and on for years because there was this climate of fear of wanting to raise these issues and disrupt the political networks that were benefiting those elected leaders in power.
Republicans on Capitol Hill launching an investigation into Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, accusing him of letting the fraud run rampant on his watch.
Billions of taxpayer dollars funneled through the Minnesota government through nonprofits to fund people's lifestyles. NGOs, if you all don't know, those are non-government organizations or nonprofits, is the biggest money laundering scam in the country. You see how your taxpayer dollars are being put up in grants, right? Because this is what happens, right? The government has all this money for grant money, right? They get all this money, this revenue money that comes in, and they're paying for services, or they're basically granting money, giving money out through different nonprofits to do certain services in the community. In this case, these people were supposed to be feeding people during COVID. Through these nonprofits. Having a feeding program, I guess, for their community in Minnesota. But that's not what happened. No, that's not what was going on. They took the money, scammed the country, and for billions of dollars, for billions now, and it decided to go on shopping sprees, blowing through the cash, riding luxury, looking like bosses. With your taxpayer dollar money, the residents of Minnesota, and I'm pretty sure it was some federal programs in there too. So that means that's all of our money. $1 billion gone. They go to prison, but who's left with the bill? Us as taxpayers. That's our money. The money that they keep taking from us. The reason why your damn taxes keep going up. They shutting the government down. All this other nonsense going on. And here you have another fraud scheme. There's more. You got a politician down in the state of Georgia. Just got arrested. She was getting unemployment benefits while she was working as a state rep. This corruption, it knows no end. And we as taxpayers are spending, we're the ones paying for all this. So you got to be very cognizant about who you putting in office. Because the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, Trump is suing him because of this. Saying that he failed the leadership, and he gets up there in front of the microphone. Yeah, well, of course you can come out and say something now, but that doesn't fix the problem. What are you going to do to fix it, Governor? What are you going to do? Are you worried about being called a bigot, racist, xenophobe, simply because you want to audit these programs to see what the hell they doing with the damn money? Are you going to allow Minnesotans to continue to get robbed by nonprofits in your state? And their tax dollars is being funneled to this crap. They done paid for somebody's Porsche, somebody's lakefront property that they don't even own. But their tax dollars that y'all are raping us across the coals for, our tax dollars are being funneled overseas. To China and East Africa. And now the United States government got to go try to see where the money went to make sure it's not being funneled to some terrorist organizations. Ain't that something? But hey, nothing to see here. That's a lot of money. That $1 billion could have went to the right people, could have went to some real programs. I'm pretty sure there's some legitimate people that needed to be fed, that could have been fed with these programs instead of been buying Porsches, Cayennes, and lakefront properties. Vacations in the Maldives. They use all y'all money. All of our money. Taking trips that you ain't never took before. When does it stop? When do we get serious about who we putting in office? When does that become part of the conversation that we have besides all the other ancillary BS that goes on, the gender wars, who's screwing who, who's got a sex tape, what reality TV star is getting divorced, yada, like all that nonsense that really don't mean anything. This is what matters right here. This is your livelihood, how you earn your money, how much money you have in your pocket, how much food, how much the cost of stuff is, the real stuff. When are y'all going to really pay attention to that stuff? Start asking questions. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. I'll be curious to see what you say. But that's it for tonight in this episode. Like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, Coach Nation, let's keep it coaching.